Let's talk about Caullin Lacy. If you haven't had the opportunity to watch this guy in action, now if you watched Caullin Lacy play Troy, you probably saw a couple big drops there in that game. But other than that, this guy is a stud. Was he over like 1,400 yards receiving this year? He's one of the leaders in the country. I think he led G5, except for maybe he was second in G5 in yards, receiving yards. Yeah, this guy's a stud. Smaller guy though. What, 5'8", 5'9", smaller frame. Perfect guy in the slot. Another guy by the name of Tank Dell was also a G5 player that happened to be a little bit smaller with production and is thriving in the NFL right now. So it doesn't mean he can't be a giant talent somewhere else. And you know that he could be a giant talent somewhere else because there have been quite a few big name schools that have offered him. I'll go ahead and list them off. These are ones that we know, right? Obviously, when we list these, there's probably more players. There's more teams that are in play for these players when we list these schools. But A&M, I know, is offering them. He's visiting them. Auburn, Louisville, Mississippi State, Oregon's offered him also, I believe. So you're looking at some big time names right there. I think he can be an immediate impact player. Where do you see of those names, or maybe one that I'm not even thinking of? Where do you see him fitting best?
Did you mention Auburn?
Yep,
Yeah, I would look at A&M and Auburn as two
he's
teams. Obviously,
he's from Mobile.
yeah. So which sucks that he has to leave his hometown, South Alabama. But Auburn, obviously, a team he's very familiar with. Um, but A&M, it sounds like he's on a visit with them this weekend. Him and Javon Harvey, another Sun Belt wide receiver from Old Dominion. Both those teams would be immediate impact players. Obviously, A&M does have a pretty deep and talented room there, but how exciting is it that you have Colin Klein coming in to be in that, and you've seen the success that Moose Muhammad had a year ago. You saw the success Anai Smith had this year, and you've seen like that would be a really nice pairing there with a healthy Connor Wigman. But I think Auburn, right, like they've been linked to a lot of offensive skill players, and that's the Hugh Freeze effect. We talk about it. Quarterbacks with scheming, like he is a really good coach to play for, especially the wide receiver talent he's turned out. Look at the NFL right now. I mean, AJ Brown, you've got DK Metcalf, Elijah Moore, like and others. Like they did a really good job there when he was at his time in the SEC. Caullin Lacy would if anywhere he goes, but I think Ole Miss and A&M would be two teams I'm looking at right now because reading the tea leaves, but also like fit. I think he would thrive at both those spots. What about you?
Yeah, I think so. I think Louisville would be really interesting. We
Yeah.
know Jeff Bromley loves his slot receivers, uh, and like small versatile guys, right? Like your Rondell Moore, your Charlie Jones, guys that you can just get the ball somehow on offense. I think like he could fit really well in Jeff Brom's system there. And they brought in the guy like Tyler Shuck, who I think is a pretty good quarterback. I don't know why people were pooping on that. I think Tyler Shuck is a pretty solid quarterback. The injury concerns are for sure
You're gonna get
there.
5 games from him. That's the thing is you're gonna get 5 games from him, and that's if I'm
Yeah,
Colin Lacey.
but
You
like, is
have
he
to
just
think
bringing
about that.
in? Is he bringing in a rental because he believes Brady Allen's ready, or the other freshman quarterback that they got there? Does he believe that one of
From
those guys could be?
California.
Yeah, does he believe one of those guys is ready? I don't know. So, but I think Louisville could be really good. And then Oregon. I mean, obviously, just depending who they get the quarterback there. A lot of these depends like who they get the quarterback to be next year, right? Auburn, who's going to be their quarterback next year. Mississippi State, who's going to be their quarterback next year. Oregon, who's going to be their quarterback next year. So I think a lot of it will depend on that. But I think he will thrive wherever he goes, even with his size. I think this guy's a dog. So hey guys, MD here. Just here to invite you to the Redshirt Sophomore College Football Bowl pool. The link to join will be in the description down below. The winner, what do they get? A chance to be a guest on the Retro Sophomore podcast, of course. But to qualify for that, you got to make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. So make sure you click that subscribe button down below. When you sign up, all you got to do is just pick a team, right? See here in Miami, Ohio versus App State. This example selected Miami, and they have 12 confidence points on it. You're going to rate these games 1 to 43, and it's going to be a blast. I can't wait to have you guys on. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Thank you.